Good morning and welcome to the new episode of Becoming Bitter. We have always heard right from the childhood honesty is the best policy. And yet, we always, and most of the time, are not honest. But the question is what is honesty? Is honesty just telling the truth? It is an excellence of character that nobody can deny. And it's a fact that being honest fosters healthy relationships, strengthens organizations and societies, makes a country strong and a society viable, prevents harm to everybody, except in exceptional circumstances. But if I look at the recent decades, honesty is one attribute of character that is absolutely absent from the social discourse. It has gone missing. And it's absent from the academic research, from the scientific research, from the so-called opinion polls, market research. It seems to be a rare bird in the society, and it's not commonly found in discussions. How to become a better person. If you look at it, have you ever seen any self-help book or any coach talking about honesty? No. As I said, how would you define honesty? Is it related to integrity? Is it related to courage? And is it being tactful? Because we are told to be tactful. And if you are honest, can you be tactful? Then, is it always best to be honest, or sometimes you can deviate because of the certain other factors and because of the human factors? What are the ways of failing to be honest? These are very important questions. And you would not find them anywhere. In my field of philosophy, for example, outside the work of my people with whom I have worked, for the last 50 years, I have not seen even a single article published on honesty. There has been research going on, psychological, philosophy. But honesty seems to be conspicuous by absence. And then what is honesty? It is a character trait that leads us to think, feel and act in authentic manner. You remember I always talk of being authentic. Let's focus on, say, one area, acting for a present. Naturally, honesty stands in contrast to lying, but is much broader in aspect than that. It's not just telling the truth. As a matter of fact, it's a characteristic that is all pervasive, all comprehending. It's also opposed to cheating, stealing, promise breaking, misleading, bullshitting, hypocrisy, self-deception, and most of all, wrongdoing of all sorts. And when we look at the world around us, we see that the scientists come up with amazing things. One day they'll say fat is not required and sugar is not required, and second they'll say it's required. One day they'll say that such and such are the parameters of, say, diabetes or cholesterol, and the next day they are changed. One day a thing is supposed to be a curse, and next day it is a boon. Look at the politicians. They want you to be honest, and they are most corrupt people in the world. Look at the newspapers who pose to be purveyors of truth. Let truth prevail. And they are paid, prostituting their profession and their honesty. So this bullshitting, this hypocrisy are the hallmarks of society. So in such a society, who are you honest? So what do you think that these behaviors have in common? As a matter of fact, what is at the core of society and core of honesty, to be more precise, that enables it to cover so much moral ground. It is that the honest behavior is a matter not of intentionally distorting facts as an honest person sees it. You see, when you have a fact, you look at it in different ways, from different perceptions. So what you perceive is honesty, not what others perceive. This is a major thing. We do not have any defined way of saying, so I would say your perception decides what's honesty. Consider a student who lies about his grades to his parents. He got maybe C, maybe B, and he tells his parents, well, I got A+. He is misrepresenting his academic performance on purpose to his parents. He knows that he has failed, but he doesn't want to hurt his parents. Maybe in his heart he has decided, well, look here, this semester I couldn't do well, but I'll work so hard, so why should I give pain to my parents? Is it being dishonest? From your point of view, yes, maybe. From the student's point of view, definitely no, because he has made a promise to himself. Of course, if he does it consistently, it would be dishonesty. Or look at a athlete who very knowingly uses a banned substance. Now, if he is not caught and he wins the Olympic medal, all is honky-donkey. And people will praise him and he'll be lionized. And he might have forgotten it. Is it dishonesty? Now, that athlete is misrepresenting the performance as being due to his or her own effort, rather than in part to the contribution of the substance. So, honest behavior is tied to how a person sees the world, how you perceive the world, as I said, to the facts as subjective as understood. And it's your understanding, not anybody else's. You see, when somebody, a preacher or a religious teacher or a coach says something, it's bad. Now look at, if someone genuinely believes the earth to be flat, and he reports that belief to a friend, he's being honest, even though the statement is false. So it has nothing to do with the reality. It has to do with your perception. You believe the earth to be flat, and you say, well, the earth is flat. I don't believe it. Now, people will not say you are being dishonest. They might say you are ignorant, but they will not say, they should not say. But suppose this same person who believes the earth to be flat and says, earth is not flat, it's oval. Now he is being dishonest. He is acting dishonestly even when the statement is true. And that is a paradigm under which most of us suffer. And that's a bit about human behavior and honest behavior. What about the motivation? In order to be a virtuous person, it's not enough just to act well. One's heart behind the action matters too. You see, this is what people forget. They act as an outward action, but what motivates that action, what prompts that action is more important. What matters is how you come and decide to take that action. And honesty is no exception. Telling the truth, even if one is reliable in doing so, won't be an expression of the virtue of honesty. If it's done just to make a good impression on others, or to avoid getting punished, or to secure rewards in the afterlife. You give charity and the purpose is, well, look, when you die you will go to heaven. It's bullshit. It's not being honest. You don't want to give charity and still you're doing it only because you have been told that if you are charitable you go to heaven. So self-interested motive isn't going to count as a virtuous motive for honesty. And that's what we fail to understand. Telling a truth which may be incorrect is honesty. Telling a truth which is correct that you don't believe it is dishonesty. You know, philosopher Immanuel Kant make a similar observation with his example of a shopkeeper. I remember that when I was reading Kant. He said the shopkeeper charges fair prices even when he has a chance to overcharge certain customers. Now, if the only reason why the shopkeeper doesn't cheat his customer is that he is worried about his losing business, if he were to be found out that he is charging more, then he is doing the right thing for the wrong reason. So the same applies for any other self-interested reason. You do something wrong because you are going to get a reward, tangible or intangible, and then you work. So, now what would count as the right reason for honest behavior? A variety of other motives, including loving motives. I do it because I care about you. You would not like to do it. You are doing it because you care about it. So this is dishonesty. There is a justice motive because it would be unfair if I cheated on the test. So you think that you should have cheated, but the justice demands that you should not cheat. So you are not cheating. Friendship motive. Well, I am doing it because my friend has asked me to do so. I am going to this charity. I am going to this gala. I am helping this person because my friend says. So you are not being honest. Dutiful. It's a rightful, it's a duty. I mean, say you hate your parents, but still you help them, work with them because it's your duty as a child. Then honesty motive itself. Well, I am going there because I have to do it. It will be honest. I can afford not to go. But that will be dishonest. So I'm going for the dishonesty. So again the reward. Self-rewarding. That you are being honest because you need to be honest. So if somebody is telling the truth for any of these reasons, for any of such motivations, loving motive, justice motive, friendship motive, dutiful motive, honesty motive, then I would say that person is dishonest. And they are doing it for different reasons. So what we need is we should be pluralistic here and allow any or all this to be count that can motivate an honest person to act. As a matter of fact, there is much more to say about the contours of this virtue. Here's another way that the virtue of honesty has gone missing. It seems to be rarely possessed by the people today. You might conclude this from the nightly news or from your own life experience. But I'm interested in what can be concluded from empirical research. In a variety of ways we see people acting. Experiment using die rolls, coin flips, self-graded examinations, self-assessments, and other measures of honest behavior. Participants regularly display, if you have seen that, a pattern of behavior that does not fit with the expectation of an honest person. For instance, in a commonly used experiment setup for assessing cheating, say you give the participant a 20 problem math test and you are told that they'll be paid for every answer they get right. Now you would find that in controlled conditions where there is no opportunity to cheat, people may not score high and they'll be paid less. But since the price is there, since the cost is there, since the reward is there, they would somehow manipulate. And one such test was done, and when it was absolutely foolproof system, only 7.9% out of 20 scored. But when freedom was given to cheat, if they wanted to, the same participants scored 13.22. That's a big difference. So, this whole thing of cheating is basically dependent on your instinctive behavior. Are you doing it for a motive? Are you doing it for a rigor? Or are you doing because you are authentic and you need to do it? So, A person who is honest will not cheat in the situation where he is free or willing participant. A real authentic person would be honest to the core, not for reward but because he has to be. So, important point is not whether you are cheating or not, but why you are cheating and why you are not being honest. So this is relevant to the recent worries, where you will see the fraudulent data. I mean, say all the research is based on data, and 99% of that has cheating. A well-known Shredder study initially found that recalling the 10 commandments was effective in reducing cheating, but this not really hold up. This is why it's so important, like just a few said, it's not possible. This is a human problem, and this is a social problem. No, let's not forget. You are honest as a society is. If you alone are honest, you would find the life will be very tough. So if the society as a whole is honest, and that's why you see the people who have come from the East, the people who are spiritual, the people, whether they believe in God or not, but if they are thinking right, then they are more honest. Majority of the people think so. In the first place, the inhabitants of North America and Europe, they have seen that when they came here, they exploited people. They would go to church and they'll come out and not regard human beings as human beings. What is being honest? Because Bible says God created man in his own image. So they were differentiated, and yet they were talking of Bible and exploiting people. And nobody blamed them for being dishonest. And that is the situation everywhere. So, assuming that most of us are not honest people in a variety of circumstances, the question arises how to do so. The quality of honesty has gone missing. And practically no psychologist talked about strategy for growing or inculcating or strengthening this attribute. So what do you do? I would recommend three things. One, the need of confirmation. You have to seek out better understanding of the examples of peace. Of honesty. The people who have been honest, proverbially honest in the history, like Abraham Lincoln, are contemporary friends, family members, co-workers, community leaders, who, regardless of the consequences, were honest. Think of them and try to follow their steps. The footprints of men, sublime men, inspire us always. So admiring those role models and casting your behavior according to them can help. You have to emulate those people. The exemplar's character, sustain engagement with these exemplars is a most effective way of inculcating this attribute, which is great. Another is to have regular moral reminders of honesty in life. Such reminders can make our moral fiber much stronger, such as they move more actively against cheating, lying, stealing. So honesty reminders can take a variety of forms. Keeping a diary, keep a journal. Write down how many times you were dishonest. You didn't believe it and still you said it. Then there's an honor code. Now, this is a very interesting thing. You prescribe an honor code for yourself and other people. But don't just prescribe it, write it down. Because once you write and sign it, in your heart you think that you're making a commitment. So this honor code, it was seen. Honor code was read to the students in a group. One group was just read, the second group was asked to read it and sign it. And would you believe? The people who read and signed it were much more honest than the people who just heard about it. Then there was an opportunity. The honor code makes a difference. And this honor code has to be right from the day one of your life. The moment you come to your cognitive, you're a child. You tell lies automatically as a protection. But if you don't punish a child, he won't tell a lie. So it depends on the persons. So final suggestion is to work against the desire to cheat. A desire that can be powerful when you think you can get away by cheating. Such a desire works in a big way. You are corrupt because nobody is going to catch you. Or you are corrupt because everybody else is doing so. So both ways you are not being honest. So move in with education. So increase, then the next is, most important, punish heavily. Increase in policing and punishment while being dishonest. And start it at the top. Don't spare people, whatever the reason may be. And let's not deny that this is the most effective way of making people. So desire to cheat can be diminished in a virtuous manner by fostering the virtues alongside. Now what's important is friendship, love. If you have those qualities, you'll be honest. If someone is generally your friend, you'd want what's best for that person, and even at the expense of your own self-interest. And if you love others and care for others, the spirit of empathy. If persons are honest, then they are always honest. If you have empathy, you will be honest. So deeper the sense of friendship, deeper the sense of love, the less likely you are going to be dishonest. And then that results in your being a better person. And that's what you want to be. So honesty should be authenticity and expressing what you sincerely believe rather than what is taught to you. That way you are a real human being, a much better person than you are today. Try it. Thank you.